and firmly rejected the move. Regional organizations and countries, including the African Union, the Arab League, the GCC, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, Intergovernmental Authority on Development, also strongly deplored and condemned the move. According to the purposes and principles of the UN Charter and international law, Somaliland is an inalienable part of Somalia's territory. China firmly supports Somalia's sovereignty, reunification, and territorial integrity, and opposes any move that splits Somalia's territory. The Somaliland question is entirely Somalia's internal affair. It should be resolved by the Somalian people in a way that fits Somalia's national conditions and complies with the constitution. Countries outside the region should stop inappropriate interference. No country should aid and abet the separatist forces in other countries for its own selfish gains. We urge the Somaliland authorities to get a clear sense of where things are headed and immediately stop any separatist activities and collusion with external forces. Next question, please.
Question from TASS.
塔斯社，中方作为 APAC 主席国工作重点和展望是什么？ Thank you for your attention on China's APAC chairmanship. China as the 2026 APAC host country for 2026 will hold the 33rd APAC Economic Leaders Meeting in November in Shenzhen. Not long ago in Guangzhou, the ROK, the APAC meeting, President Xi Jinping pointed out that China, as the upcoming host country of APAC, stands ready to work with all sides to build an Asia-Pacific community with a focus on promoting practical cooperation on APAC, Asia-Pacific Free Trade Zone, interconnectivity, digital economy, and AI, so as to inject more vitality and impetus for Asia-Pacific development and better benefit the people in the region. President Xi Jinping's important speech provides the direction and guidance for 2026 APAC meeting and APAC cooperation. As agreed by members of APAC, the 2026 APAC meeting theme is building an Asia-Pacific community to prosper together. The Asia-Pacific community is not only a goal, but also means practical cooperation and concrete actions. To this end, APAC China Year identifies openness, innovation, and cooperation as the three priority areas. Openness is the lifeline of Asia-Pacific prosperity. We need to jointly uphold the multilateral trading system, foster an open regional economic environment, and boost the interconnectivity level of the region so as to achieve new progress and new results in building an Asia-Pacific free trade zone. Innovation is the source of drivers of Asia-Pacific prosperity. We need to seize the opportunities of innovation-driven development, pull more consensus on areas including AI and digital economy so that new technologies can enable more applications and bridge the digital and smart divide in the region. Cooperation is the foundation of the prosperity in the region. Asia-Pacific is the economic bloc that has the most resource endowment and complementarity of development strategies and stages. APAC built the most fully fledged and multi-layer practical cooperation mechanism, which is the unique advantage of the organization. We need to make full use of all kinds of cooperation mechanisms so as to translate the complementarity of members into opportunities of cooperation so that different economies can pursue different kinds of development. We need to better boost our cooperation in such areas as fiscal and financial policies, food security, energy, small and medium-sized enterprises, transport, tourism, human resources, and healthcare. Let's work together for a full success of China Year APAC and make new contribution to the economic growth in Asia-Pacific and beyond. Next one, please.
Thank you. Bloomberg News.
彭博社。刚才你提到了台湾， 中国解放军以及海务相关的当局称，这一次军演将会在明天的上午开始。总台央视报道称，这一次军演已经从今天上午开始了。中方能否澄清一下，到底是什么时候开始，以及对于航运和海空有什么样的影响
？I recommend you to the information released by the spokesperson of the Eastern Theater Command.
下一个问题。
Next question, please.
发言人好，环球时报记者提问。
Global Times. Today, Global Times released 2025 Global Survey on Impression and Understanding of China, which covered 46 countries with a focus on how foreign public perceives, understands, and evaluates China. According to the results, Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era is highly recognized. Global public opinion holds a favorable view of China and looks forward to a bigger role of China. What's your comment? Currently, China's development is now increasingly interconnected with the international landscape. China's image in the world receives great attention. We noted that, according to the survey, Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era is highly recognized. Important visions and philosophies such as building a community with a shared future of humanity, lucid waters and lush mountains are valuable assets. People-centered approach, further deepening reform comprehensively, and advancing full and rigorous party self-governance have been well received. Visions and experience on governance such as the in-depth implementation of the spirit of Central Party leadership's 8-point decision on improved work conduct and formulation of 5-year plans received national acclaim. In the international community, there has been positive outlook on China's economic growth, great interest in China's culture and techniques, expectation of involvement in international affairs and reform and improvement of global governance, and hope that their country will also have friendlier relations with China. We've also noted that since this year, multiple polling institutions have shown that more international people have shown greater interests, greater perceptions, and more acclaim of China. These research results have manifested the world's full recognition of China's development achievements, governance capabilities, openness posture, and cooperation philosophies. They've also demonstrated the expectations of all countries in China's deep engagement in international affairs and leading global governance. Currently, the international situation is intricate. The sound interactions between China and the world and the two-way exchanges are all the more precious. We will continue to open ourselves to the world, share with the world opportunities, and lead the global governance and inject more stability, certainty to the world, and jointly work with all countries to write a new chapter of mutual accomplishment. Next question, please.
Thank you. Question from Reuters.
路透社，我想要追问一下关于围台演习的问题。进行演习的动机是因为对台军售吗？美方是不是中方所提到的外部势力干涉？
我要再次强调
I want to stress that China's resolve in safeguarding national sovereignty, security, and territorial integrity is unwavering. Any actions that make provocations and cross the lines on the Taiwan question will be met with China's firm response. Next question, please.
Thank you, Ukraine Foreign News Agency.
梧桐社，美乌的领导人举行了所谓的建设性的会晤，问题是关于俄乌冲突的停火。中方对于这一次会晤的成果有什么评论？现在，泽连斯基总统在访美之前表示，他并没有看到中方准备加入俄乌的和平进程，相反，中方还增加了对于俄罗斯能源的进口。 相关的收益被俄方用于对乌的战争，中方对此有何评论？ We noted the report. China supports all effort conducive to the peaceful settlement of the Ukraine crisis and hopes that parties will reach a fair, lasting, and binding peace agreement through dialogue and negotiation at an early date. On your second question, since the Ukraine crisis broke out, China has maintained communication with relevant parties, including Russia and Ukraine. We have been working for a ceasefire and promoting talks for peace, and our effort speaks for itself. China supports all efforts that are conducive to peace and will continue to play a constructive role to this end. Next one, please.
Question from NHK.
NHK 关于军演的问题，追问一下，你提到中方的军演旨在反击外部势力的干涉，这指的是哪个国家？
我刚才说过了。
I just said any actions that crosses the line or makes provocation on the Taiwan question will be met with firm response from China. Next question, please.
Thank you. Question from RIA Novosti.
俄新社，俄罗斯外长拉夫罗夫表示，俄方反对任何形式的台独，并将支持中方维护国家统一和领土完整。如果台海形势升级的话，俄方将继续支持中方。中方对此有何评论？
China highly
commends Russia's firm and consistent support to China on the Taiwan question. The Taiwan question is China's domestic affair. The One China principle is a prevailing international consensus and a basic norm governing international relations. Nothing will deter China from defending its national sovereignty and territorial integrity. 俄新社，中国外长王毅昨天表示，中方愿意为东盟观察团监督泰检之间的停火提供协助。中方能否说明中方的援助是否包括向泰检边境派遣维和人员？
检台边。
Since the outbreak of the conflict at the border between Cambodia and Thailand, China opposed the global security initiative proposed by President Xi, actively promoted mediation, and under the joint efforts of all sides, the Cambodia and Thailand militaries have reached a ceasefire agreement. China is pleased to see that. Today, the foreign ministers of China, Cambodia, and Thailand met in Yunnan. Foreign Minister Wang Yi stated that the discussions among the three parties are conducive and constructive, and they have formed important common understandings. One is to jointly look ahead and move forward. The ceasefire agreement is hard-won, and it should not stop halfway, and hostilities cannot be resurrected. This is not what people want, and is not what China hopes to see. Second, we need to take an orderly approach to move forward. The implementation of the ceasefire arrangements needs the maintenance of communication and consultation. The resumption of bilateral relations need to take an orderly approach, but so long as the two sides maintain confidence and carry out equal dialogue, such goals can be achieved. Third is that it is most important to rebuild mutual trust. The conflict creates a lack of trust. However, the Cambodia and Thailand are forever neighbors. They have a long history of friendly exchanges. After the meeting, the three sides have issued a press statement clearly stated that Cambodia and Thailand would further enhance communication and enhance mutual understandings in 5 points. Take orderly approach to consolidate the ceasefire, resume exchanges, rebuild political mutual trust, realize a turnaround of the relations, and maintain regional peace. China will continue to promote the Cambodia-Thailand relations development and is willing to provide all support, including ceasefire monitoring, humanitarian assistance, and landmine clearance cooperation. We expect and have the confidence that the Cambodia-Thailand relationship would get back onto the right track at an early date. Next question, please.
CGTN 提问，据报道，缅甸全国大选。
CGTN, it is reported that voting on the first day of Myanmar's general election concluded on December 28th. What's China's comment? The government of Myanmar held voting for the first phase of the general election on December the 28th. Chinese observer team and representatives from relevant countries and international organizations jointly observed the process at the scene. The voting proceeded in a generally stable and orderly manner, making a smooth launch of the general election. We hope that the upcoming second and third phases of the voting will also proceed smoothly and enable Myanmar to stabilize and de-escalate the situation, bring the political situation back onto the right track, realize more broad-based and stable peaceful reconciliation, and restore stability and development of the country at an early date. Next question, please.
Thank you. Question from Reuters.
路透社追问一下，刚才你提到了泰柬之间的停火，如果说中国在其中进行了调停，帮助促成了停火协议，这是否是正确的说法？
我刚才也提到了。
I've just mentioned, after the outbreak of the border conflict, China has always been actively carrying out mediation. We will always be a promoter of the development of the bilateral relations, and it was always willing to provide assistance. We hope the Cambodia-Thailand relationship would get back on the right track at an early date. Next question, please.
Spokesperson, another question.
日本广播协会也是关于围台军演的。2022年，当时中方的相关武器落到了。
You can stay tuned to the information released by the spokesperson of the East Theater Command.
下一个。
Next question, please.
Thank you. Question from AFP.
法新社。在巴拿马有一个纪念的碑，中方传统纪念碑被当地的政府摧毁，这一行为被巴拿马其他地方以及中国驻巴拿马大使的批评和谴责，中方对此有何回应？
中方对
China expresses the serious dissatisfaction to relevant dismantling of the monument by Panama region and has made solemn representation. The friendly exchanges between the two peoples of China and Panama have dated back a long history. In 19th century, a lot of Chinese neighbors went to Panama and made great contributions to the building of railway and the Panama Canal, and some even sacrificed their lives. Such a monument is a testimony of Chinese labor's great historical contribution to Panama, as well as the traditional friendship between the two countries. And it's also a recognition of the Chinese people's involvement into the local authorities. The demolishment is quite seriously undermines the feeling of Chinese people in Panama and violates the general picture of China-Panama friendship. China has noticed that such acts has provoked outrage in Panama. President of Panama has publicly condemned such acts, and the presidential office has ordered the reconstruction of the monument. China asks Panama to look thoroughly into this incident and at an early date rectify relevant erroneous actions and diminish the negative influence as soon as possible. Next question, please.
大家还有其他问题吗？
Any more questions?
好，那今天
That'll be the end of today's press conference. Thank you.